Hi everybody, welcome to the show. We've got a special show for you today. We have got Seun Opanubi, and let's welcome her to the show. Hi Seun.
Hi, Mandy.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good, lovely to have you.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
No, you're welcome. And you're looking so lovely and bright and beautiful.
Yes, you gave me a special reason to dress up today, so I thought I'll put the effort in.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, Seun, this is going to be a very casual, relaxed conversation, but we do want the audience or viewers to know who you are and what you do. But before we get there, let's talk about things that have shaped your career and shaped where you are now today. So, what moments shaped your career, and who would you say are or have been your biggest mentors and influencers?
What shaped my career? I graduated doing a computer systems engineering degree. Didn't know what I was going to do. However, in the last year of my module, I settled on a mix of project management within software engineering. Didn't quite get that when I graduated, so I was kind of going through the motions. However, I landed in a job where I was working in the operations department as a systems analyst, but I was showing a lot of eagerness to get into project management. I was very fortunate to get a senior management team member who could see the drive, and he started to sort of help harness those skills and get me through. It wasn't until he left that I realized that I had been mentored by him. Because mentorship wasn't something I had a name to, that I was familiar with. And it was only after he left that I realized, oh my goodness, this guy has been helping me by mentoring me, by giving me projects to work on and allowing me to experience it, making me experience the failures as well as the success. And it was when I realized what that was, I thought, I want to give back. I want to do this as well, because this is important, not just for me, but anyone in whatever field they end up in. And yeah, so that's brought me to where I am, where I look as mentorship as a key important role that people could try and play in other people's lives.
So that really played a big part in shaping where you are now today. And
yes,
did you have any doubts was there anything?
There were doubts because after he left, I then got seconded into a role, and it was that role that exposed me to Agile ways of working. And that was when I started to see teams working in collaborative ways. I could see transparency, which I didn't see previously, because in the previous role, it was traditionally project management led. And so I hadn't seen the experience or the exposure. I wasn't exposed to seeing people work in collaborative ways, transparent ways, communicating effectively, taking ownership and sharing that ownership. And so it was when I saw that, I thought, this is nice. This is actually me. Because I could see it wasn't just about the project, it was about the people. And that was where I felt like my skill sets came to light. It's like, well, this is my superpower.
Lovely.
And I might as well make the most of it. And so that also helped so him coming into my life as a mentor, silent mentor, because I didn't know what that was at the time, and then being exposed to that sort of agile ways of working and seeing where people over process kind of thing. I just thought, now this exemplifies what I've been looking for but didn't know. So it was only by accident, really.
Wow.
And so that shaped my thinking in going forward, right, in terms of looking for career. This is the kind of things I'm looking out for.
Wow, wonderful. So you've got a great background. So share with people, what is it that you do? What do you currently do?
So I'm currently a founder of a consulting company, which I put together to help organizations bridge the gap between strategy and execution. And what that means in practical terms is I mentor Scrum Masters and team leads so that they in turn can create confident, capable, collaborative teams who can work showing the best doing putting their best foot forwards. And I do this by empowering them through sort of coaching, mentoring, creative kind of workshops. I use a more kind of holistic approach where I look at creativity, because I'm also quite creative. I love art, and I do a bit of art, and I use my puppets as well in some of the workshops to create some sort of time for reflection. And so bringing all of that together, well-being, creativity, allows people to show certain parts of themselves they don't often show. And I believe that helps with connection with the team to bring about that lovely team dynamics, which you need to see within a team to see how they work, to help them to work well together.
So there's a lot of science behind this creativity or play, that kind of approach from the arts and crafts. How does that help? How does that help the individuals? Because if you're doing a workshop or you've got an organisation, somebody's recommended Seun because they've been to one of your workshops, and not only that, they are thriving. What's that kind of hook that really blends everything in? I mean, you bring puppets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's extraordinary.
It's a shame I haven't brought it with me today, unfortunately. They didn't kind of come up with me this morning. The intention was there to bring them, but unfortunately I forgot. I think the whole idea of play, when you go to school, we go from education to employment, and everything is all serious, and you're almost told to leave that play aspect of you at home because work is a serious thing. And so when you give people the opportunity to actually play at work, they almost drop their guard. And they're able to be more relaxed and more creative. So where just communicating and talking to people doesn't often relay the information. Sometimes doing things, even as I'm talking to you now, gesticulating, it adds another layer, another level into what I'm trying to say or convey. So with the puppet, it's helpful to use that when you can put things into perspective and talk to people. I'm about to go into puppet mode. Put things into perspective and allow people to reflect in the third party sometimes. Sometimes if you remove people from the space and project it onto a puppet, they're able to see clearly, almost have an out-of-body experience, see clearly what you're trying to convey, especially when it comes to empathy. And you want them to see that. And when you bring those tools into play, and people tend to come out of their shell or get that moment of reflection, which is much more heightened. You get that with art as well, because not everyone, people see creativity, some people see creativity as something that belongs to them and them only. So when you create a space where everyone can be creative and nothing, it doesn't have to be perfect. So everything is a representation of how you're feeling or how you're feeling at the moment. And if you can give people that space to do whatever they like without judgment, people are able to just open up. And then you start to notice certain team members that maybe they're very quiet, and suddenly they've created this elaborate art piece that creates that element of connection, because you're like, never knew you could do that. And then you get to know them on a deeper level, and that also enhances that sort of team dynamic that you really want within a team when they're working together to achieve something.
It sounds really powerful. It really does. I mean, the sheer fact that you're almost like moving energy, with the puppets, with what you're doing with the creative aspect. What made you kind of like lean towards that? What was it that influenced you to
do that,
thinking and utilizing that so much?
I have seen other people use different types of play aspects to work, and for me that works for them, and they know how to use it to the best of their ability. And I needed to find something that worked for me. And a lot of the time I go to work do the work with, the serious work without the play aspect. But behind the scenes, when I try to relax, one of the things I do to relax is paint. And then at the church I go to, I'm very involved in I sing, I'm involved with sound desk, I'm involved with puppetry. And so I got exposed to puppetry just one day. I went to church and there was this stage and I was watching and I was just encapsulated by the whole concept. And so the whole idea of that just made me think, well, I can bring a little bit of me into my work that encapsulates a little bit of who I am, not just the 9 to 5, get the work done, you're a scrum master, just do your bit. Is how can I use those things to enhance and bring an extra layer of understanding that would promote connection with the team.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm just thinking about how, as children, we grow up with play, and then we go off to school, and then we have to change, and each stage that we're changing, we have to get more and more serious, and we do. And it's not to say that there's no seriousness in the work we do, but the aspect of being able to relax, the aspect of being able to use the nervous energy in that creative manner, there's something, it just sounds quite unique from the point of view that you do these things in church, and kind of like a spiritual awakening.
It was funny because when I was exposed to it the first time, I thought, oh yeah, for the kids, get them, and then as I watched and looked around the church, I could see the adults really getting involved. The kids were giggling when the puppets did something funny. Yeah. But then I watched around and thought, it's not just the kids that are enjoying this. The adults are enjoying this too. And then I realized the information that was being conveyed by the puppets kind of held more true in terms of the memory of it lasted longer because forever we're talking about, how that saying goes, people don't always remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel.
Definitely.
And that just conjures up all of that in
definitely, because by default our brain is wired to be thinking about safety, thinking about oh, that's dangerous, because we kind of are raised in that way. So to have the brain thinking in that kind of lovely constellation way that you're describing it means that you are allowing people to really relax. Adults, I mean, this is the world of work is changing so rapidly with technology. I mean, one day we're on one kind of technology and the next day there's an update, and you got to move with it so fast. So how does a business, an organization, remove that kind of angst, with people in the workforce when technology is so fast? And also in some cases, organizations cannot keep up. So in people's, private personal lives, they are on the latest tech. They come into work and they are on old stack. So these kinds of movements and shifts can really empower or disempower people. So I really think it's wonderful what you're doing, bringing that element of play to help people to relax. I think that's amazing.
I think we forget so often when people come to work that they have lives outside work.
Yes.
And yes, you can say, drop your problems outside once you step in the door. It's work mode, and we're human. We can't.
Yes.
Because you're going to be sitting out at work. You're going to get a call and maybe, sorry, your child's not feeling well. You need to come and pick them up.
Yes.
You can't not attend to that because that's a need. You might be at work. It's still part of you. You still have to respond to that.
Yeah.
So it's when organizations put that into perspective and allow for people to have those lives. Which is probably going to take us to another topic. Working remotely has enabled a lot of people to be able to do with less guilt. But I think it's important to see people holistically, rather than just the brain that they bring to work.
Well, we're going to bring a bit of play into it now, and we will come back to the point that we've kind of dropped off from. So let's keep that in mind.
Okay.
So I do this with every guest, and it's just to kind of bring that aspect of play.
Okay.
So these are designed 60-second questions, just designed to have a little bit of fun. That's all it is. So let's go with it. So if you had to change your job title to match your wonderful personality, Seun, what would it be?
My job title. A play on words now. I'm thinking puppet master.
Oh, I like it. I like it. That's wonderful. Chief puppet master.
Chief puppet
Yeah,
master.
wonderful. So let's do another one. What are you terrible at, but secretly enjoy?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What am I terrible at and secretly enjoy? I secretly enjoy trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
I am one of those people who I've got to try it. I may not be good at it,
Mm-hmm.
but knowing that I have made the attempt, I have tried it, I failed at it, fine. I know where I stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not good at saying I wouldn't try that.
Yeah.
But I'm good at trying. I tell you something.
Yeah, come on.
Groupon, and I'm not advertising them.
No.
But they have enabled me to try so many things that I would never have
Wow.
attempted to. But because of the fact that the prices have been reduced in such a way that even if I fail at it, it's no skin off my, well, it's a little skin off my back, but not as much. But it's enabled me to try so many things. So now the questions my friends ask me is there anything you don't do or can't do? Because you say something, oh, I've tried that. Or what about, is there anything you don't do? So I secretly enjoy just trying different things, even if I might be bad at it.
Yeah.
I'll try it anyway.
So you're a bit of a scientist, bit of an experimenter.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think I tried horse riding on Groupon, and now I love it. I recorded not my own song. I recorded a song through using Groupon vouchers.
Wow.
I've done a lot of art stuff through Groupon. I've done pottery through Groupon. I have joined a drama class through Groupon. So I would try anything that just encapsulates my, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I'll just give it a try.
Yeah.
How much does Groupon do it for? Oh, that's affordable. I can do that. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. So going back to where we kind of left off, and also just bringing that aspect of, the affordability aspect. So a lot of people, the pandemic did it to us. We had to work, the ones who could, we worked from home. And the ones who had, they had to go out, the services, they had to continue. And then, we did that for a couple of years and people got used to it. Initially, people were thinking, how on earth are we going to get used to this? And, I remember I had to put, labels on my door on the office so that my daughter wouldn't barge in or scream, and she would know that mum's on a call. So we had to adjust. And then obviously the pandemic, people moved through it, and then this hybrid working has happened. Now, what are your thoughts about this? Because it's a big kind of context switch. You're working from home, you can wear what you like, because nobody's going to see that you've got your jogging bottoms on or that you haven't got any makeup, so you've got blemishes, nobody can see that. So and then we've got a context switch to go into the office. I mean, I know that when I context switch, it kind of does disrupt me. It takes me a lot of energy to say, right, you've got to do this, don't move. How would you kind of have any hints and tips, or how do you do that? How would you?
The funny thing for me was that before COVID, and it's strange that this is now a term we use, pre and post COVID.
Yeah.
But pre-COVID, I was never the kind of person who worked from home.
Okay.
I like that social aspect of of being in the office. Even if I had like an appointment, maybe the electrician was coming, I would say first thing in the morning because I was still going to go into the office.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, I had to find a new rhythm. I struggled with the idea of getting out of bed and then going straight into the computer I was blurring the line between when home started and when office started and knowing all of that stuff. And I know after COVID, some people then got into a rhythm, and I was one of those. I had to find a rhythm that incorporated my well-being, because this was now new to me, and obviously not just me, a lot of people. So I was attending different meetup groups where people openly talked about their struggles about it, and from that sharing mine, and as a result, listening to tips other people were giving and then incorporating that. And in true Agile style, I was testing some of them and seeing whether it would work. And if it didn't work, I'd drop it, I'll try something else. So one of the things I did to make it work for me was I would, first thing in the morning, go for a walk, almost try to copy the idea of going to get public transport to get into the office. And then I would come back in, and that was kind of me pretending I was now stepping into the office floor and then go to my desk. So that kind of worked for me because number one, I was getting fresh air, and number two, I was switching off. I've left home and I'm going into to work. And then lunchtime, making sure I stepped out, went for a run, discussed this with other colleagues from work, we then created some sort of competition where everyone would have to step out, go for a run at lunchtime, take a picture to prove you'd done it, record your time.
Yeah.
So that then made it a challenge.
No.
It was no longer, you're doing it for fun. It was like you're doing it, yes, for fun, but you wanted to beat your time and stuff. So there was more of your presence going in than just doing it like autopilot.
It's like a commitment.
Like a commitment, yes. And then after that, after work, then going for a walk, like, okay, it's the end of it. So this is where I end this and I'm not doing any extra work. There was still a bit of a struggle because you're thinking of that email and the laptop's just there. I can just do
Temptation.
that. Yeah, temptation was always there. And so that was how I coped during the actual COVID. But then post-COVID, I was also wanting that social aspect. I still wanted to go out. But then it had to, not everybody wanted to. So how do you make sure, even when you did meet with people, it made sense? We were meeting for a purpose. So, right, if we're going to meet face-to-face, because yes, companies are beginning to ask people to come back to work, it needs to make sense. We can't have some people come to work and then still be doing online calls. Everyone needs to come in. But if everyone comes in, how do we make it relevant for everyone? So we would make it like a retrospective where, right, okay, we were doing a retrospective, we're having a conversation and stuff. So I think the key thing for anyone who's now going back to work, where they're increasing the number of days you're going in, is, trying it out, obviously letting them know about your real life, if that's going to be impacted in a great way. And hopefully if you're talking to people who are considering your well-being, hopefully they'll take that into account. I know a lot of people are going from 2 to 3 days, and some people even asking for 5 days, even though there's proof now that you don't have to be. Presenteeism is not something that's necessary to get successful outcome in the workplace. I think trust sometimes could be the issue.
Yeah, that's quite a key indicator, the trust aspect. How do you feel like from the point of view of people coming into the office more and more, and also being able to manage their energy? Because when you work from home, when you've got that kind of safety element of your environment, you got that trust at home. And also you're not that distracted, but then you go into the work environment and you're very distracted because you're not used to it. Are there any like tools and tips? Are there any kind of ways that you've discovered it's worked for you, and do you know of anything that would work for other people?
I think communication is key in those sort of aspects, especially if, like me, I was the kind of person who went to work and didn't like the distractions because I wanted to get my work done. Because for me, that was success. It was just that thing embedded in me, growing up, work hard, integrity, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I found communication was the key thing, is letting people know, I know you want to have a chat, but I actually have a deadline that I need to meet. Do you mind? We can still have that chat. Maybe we can even go for a walk. I started to find that in the past, I just thought meeting rooms were constrained to four walls, and realized you can have meetings with your colleagues by going for a walk.
Wonderful.
So I would say things like, okay, let me finish this. I have a 20-minute break or a 30-minute break. If you're free then, could we go for a walk? And we can talk and walk. That way I'm still getting my fresh air. I am giving you my full attention, because if you were talking to me and I had a deadline, I will be half here and half there, because you wouldn't like the attention I'll give you, because I wouldn't be giving you much of it. You'll be seeing half my face. You'll be getting the nods, but I'm not listening.
But you're not really
exactly. I'm just trying to get rid of you.
Yeah.
So it's communication. It's finding what works. It's trying different things.
Yeah.
And hopefully your team members know you well enough to respect your time.
Yeah.
It's having those boundaries, it's stating what they are, but still letting them know I am aware you need my time. However, if we do it this way. Yeah. And I think you can get through. If someone doesn't understand, then they don't really have your best interest in mind. It just means they're being selfish and they don't care about you.
Well, I must say, Seun, your kind of essence and your manner and your this assertiveness, I'd welcome that any day, because you there's no aggression there. There's just clear communication. So yeah, that communication piece is quite important.
It is.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get there, though.
Did it?
Yeah, I used to practice what they call passive aggressive, where I wouldn't tell you I was busy, but I would hope my body language was letting you know I was busy. Yeah, it's like, keep talking, but yeah. And then I started to practice, place yourself in the other person's shoes. Would you like someone to do that, even if you were busy? How would you like someone to tell you? So that's one thing I started to practice, is because I wasn't so used to asserting myself. I started to learn to ask people, well, if you were busy, how would you like me to say it to you? Yeah. And then it's from the way they worded it that I realized, okay, if I word it this way, it's not offensive. The person will understand. And so I started to learn, well, if I was busy, how would I, or if I needed help and somebody was busy, how would I want them to turn me down? That I would still be okay with it. And it's always thinking of the other person's feelings. Yeah.
Wow. So many lovely insights there. Thank you. Are you ready for one more break? We'll do a lovely
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So, let's have a look. So, one app on your phone you should delete, but you never will.
Ooh.
Maybe it doesn't apply to you, but it's just a 60-second, fun piece.
It's funny because how sometimes you go in to download something on your phone and then it gives you suggestion, tells you, well, you don't have any space, but we suggest you take this out.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't know, maybe I don't know if I'll use it. There's one in my phone. I haven't used it for a long time. Not that I would never use it. It's called Elevate. And it's supposed to be a brain, supposed to get your brain ticking.
Okay.
And so it does like maths, English, and it would just throw questions at you, which you need to respond to. When we were commuting, so pre-COVID, I used it when I was on the train. So post-COVID, I haven't used it much. But when it comes up as a suggestion to delete, no, I don't. No. Like, I need it. The brain needs to function.
Another little fun one, a little fun fact. So what's your hot beverage of choice when you're focused on project?
Ooh. It might be boring to some. Hot water and lemon. Ooh. Squeeze a lemon.
Wow.
Yeah, hot water and lemon, and I just grab it with both hands.
Yeah.
and just
Interesting.
eyes focused.
Yeah.
But when I'm relaxing,
Yeah.
hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Oh, lovely. Lovely. I like that. 2 great facts. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So we've spoken a lot about, the work you do and, the changes that you've adopted and, your kind of insights. Can you walk us through, say, a recent big decision, and how did you make it?
Poof. I suppose starting the business was a big decision. Phew. It took a while. There were so many things I needed to take into consideration, and it was new to me. So again, this is where agile ways of working has really taking form. I had to speak to people who have done this before. I spoke to people who were mentors from the past when I discovered what mentorship was and stuff. And I'll then also speak to people who had done businesses themselves. Look at what worked for them, what didn't work, and then just try something out. And so from their suggestions, I would try something out and test it. If it didn't work, I would give you some time. If it didn't work, I knew it was time to just scrap that and try something else. And so I've kind of formed that habit of trying something, testing it out, seeing if it works, this is where data is important, using data to see, well, did I get this much leverage because this was the tool I used, or was it because of that tool? And does that mean I scrap that one and keep that one? And so currently I'm actually looking at create. So I ran a workshop in January, which was really good. And I'm thinking of running another one. But this time I've just created a survey, which I've opened up, wanting people to go in and go, right, let me know what your challenges are, because I really want to make sure whatever I'm putting together in the workshop is actually meeting the needs of people. And so, but first, once I've got the feedback from that and using the data from that, creating a pilot, testing it out, and then
Wonderful.
So always testing stuff. Yeah.
So you're starting the business. You took advice from others and you've kind of like tested ideas using data. No, that sounds really good. If you could change perception in your industry, what would it be?
Ooh, I think one of them, going back to when I was silently being mentored and didn't know, I would say a lot of organizations should really look seriously into making sure your team members, your staff, individuals have got mentors. I think it's key to not just their career growth, but also establishing people who not only love their job, but are committing to doing a good job. Because not only does it benefit them, it benefits you too. It's a two-way thing, win. Because one thing, it shows them you value them. And if you feel valued, you're more inclined to do the best job you can. And through mentorship, you find out whether you are where you're supposed to be. And if you are where you're supposed to be, you know you have a purpose. If you know you have a purpose, you're more inclined to be self-motivated to improve.
Wonderful. Wow. Yeah. Wow, Seun, you are so inspirational. You really are. You're just an absolute gem. So from a point of view of personal wisdom, work-life balance, first of all, how do you define success for yourself?
I think that that depends on my daily to-do list. I am a tick list, checklist rather, kind of person. So I usually would start the day with a checklist that I wrote the day before. And then walk through that. And once I've walked through that and ticked enough of it, I don't beat myself up. I used to. I didn't have to tick everything, but I ticked the ones that were important, and I've done those. For me, that's success.
Yeah.
I have achieved what I needed to achieve, and that fills me with glee. And from that, I can then, anything I didn't get to do, carry over to the next day, create another list. At least I know it's moving me towards, a bit like your daily scrum.
Yeah.
You're walking towards your goal.
Yeah,
it's moving me towards the goal. And so for me, that's success, because I'm managing my time and I'm getting things done as well.
It's so interesting. So I'm sure you're aware more and more people are, getting assessments and tests and finding out that they have ADHD. And I've tried experiments. My daughter, she's she's been diagnosed with ADHD for a while now. And I'm looking at all of the kind of research and material. And one of the things that they suggest is exactly what you've said. For your executive functioning, so for your brain to be really getting the most out of dopamine, having tasks on a board and then crossing them off. Now, I did a little experiment. So last week, I've been doing the board, for a while. But this week, I thought, I'm just going to have a clean board. So have the whole week, but clean board. And what? I do feel there's something missing. I think that sense of success, like you were saying, it's so interesting, isn't it?
I think I'm secretly ADHD as well. I just haven't had myself tested.
Do you know?
Because I love to do different things and I can lose focus.
Yeah.
So I need to write it down otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think ADHD is the new norm.
I think it might be.
Because a lot of us are very creative, and as we're getting older, we're reflecting back to when we were younger. That explains why I didn't focus on this and didn't do that. Thinking, I've survived up to this stage, so surely it couldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
But then it just means, especially at school, the more awareness can be brought to it, the more they can tailor ways of people learning and making sure it's not just you can only learn this way or you've got this. Well, in that case, we know that if we present you with this tool where you're making a list and ticking it, that gives you the satisfaction, that helps you to focus, that brings you to a place where we know that you can do the job because we've written it and you've gone back to tick. And it's just enabling other people to know how to teach you, help me help you kind of thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So, if you had a billboard for future professionals, what would it be?
What would it say?
Yeah, what would it say?
Oh, I don't know if the billboard's big enough.
Okay, what would be the strap line?
I would say be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Life has a way of happening when you're making other plans. So your kindness could mean that when life pulls the ladder from under you, the kindness you've shown means people may just be there to cushion your fall.
Wow. Seun, you have been absolutely marvellous.
Thank
you.
you
are like an anchor. I cannot say. You are so amazing.
I've enjoyed it so much.
Thank
really
you so
fun.
much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, that's it. I don't know about you, but I have just got so much out of Seun today, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Please, may I ask you to subscribe, share, and like, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Thank you, Seun.
Thank you.